Hello, you guys. Cindy here. Create Your Own Luck and Love. Happy Tuesday. We had some technical difficulties, so I will be sharing this later on Instagram. Hope everyone's having a great day. And I am excited to be here with you guys today. I'm going to share about something that I find to be super important. I'm going to try to, hold on, you guys. Try to put this in a space. Well, it's not going to work. Hey, Helene, how are you? It's good to see you. Okay, so I'm going to talk about fantasy relationships versus reality. And you guys might be thinking, well, gosh, I'm really realistic about my dating. But all, men, the men out there don't want to commit, or he lets me into a certain part of his life, or, all these buts that come up. So what I want to share with you today around this topic of building fantasy bonds is a couple different things. First off, my name's Cindy Olin. I'm a love and relationship expert. I help women to attract and connect deeply with the kind of man that resonates within them. So thank you again for being here today. Back to fantasy relationships. So I love talking about this because there's actually a lot written about this. So first off, when we're in the developing of relationship mode, let's say you're dating, maybe you're dating a few different people, there's somebody special out there, and what can happen is, especially early on as women, we can pretzel ourselves or even show up as the woman we think he wants us to be. Has anyone done that? I know I have. And what that creates is a false sense of reality. In fact, he might even like you for that woman. And when you start to show up as the real person, he's going to be blindsided. So there's that piece. And we show up on dates, we have our Spanx on, we hold everything in, and we keep it all together. And in reality, we're actually hiding who we are. I can't tell you how many women I've spoken to that have said, oh, I think he didn't call me today, or he's pulling away because I said I'm really interested in having a relationship. I mean, quite frankly, you guys, I don't like to cuss, but that's bullshit. It's not true. And we can take things in so personally and create this ideal of what we think that he wants, and actually tell him lies about who we are, what we want, and what's really important to us. So in fact, we're diminishing our value. So you're not actually speaking your truth. And what is created through this is a false sense of reality. So we'll go into people pleaser mode. We won't set healthy boundaries. And what happens is the manifestation of something that's not really real. Okay? There's a lot of writing around fantasy relationships, and women, we have romantic ideas of the way it should be, and he sweeps us off our feet, and we have, amazing time in the bedroom, or whatever it is. I mean, we talk for hours, and he feeds me chocolate covered strawberries, and just can't imagine anybody more amazing than me, right? So we all want connection. Understand that piece. I mean, there are some people out there that don't, and men are much different than women. If they're not ready for something real, they will typically tell you, unless they have other mitigating circumstances. But So, what that actually creates when we talk about fantasy relationships, it actually creates an unavailable relationship. So, as women, we can be excited about the romance, the challenge, the having fun, the adventures together. And what we won't necessarily do is listen to who they are, what they want, and is it aligned with you? That's true authenticity and setting healthy boundaries. And I've got a newsflash, and it may not be a newsflash to everyone out there, but you don't have to agree with a man all the time. He doesn't need to agree with you. That's the beauty of life. How many of you guys have friends out there? If you do, give me a thumbs up or a heart. We don't agree with our friends all the time. I have a friend right now that is doing some things that I don't agree with. I still love her. I still, I do things that other people don't agree with. And it's fine. We still have love and unconditional acceptance out there, right? Who doesn't have unconditional acceptance? Maybe you don't. But in the thought process of creating real relationships, romance is awesome. It is. I love it. I'm a romantic at heart. Give me any romantic movie in Hollywood. I love it. I eat that stuff up. Here's the thing though. There's, I don't know if you guys have heard the phrase, fall in love but take your brain with you. And that looks like, learning how to create authenticity and intimacy. Many times you might be the kind of woman that enjoys fun, romance, adventure, connection, and you might have connection with a lot of different people. And it's harder to then create true intimacy. And intimacy is slowing down, getting authentic with yourself, listening to learn, not waiting to speak, and learning about an individual. It is not a race to the finish line. And granted, you guys, I know dating can be challenging. It can be frustrating. Relationships can be that way. However, when we're in relationship, we can still create those fantasy connections. We can have a fantasy that, I don't know, he's going to make me my favorite dinner and he never cooks. It could be anything. But you guys, it's really about looking at getting grounded in what intimacy is. Who has a challenge with intimacy? Who has a challenge with slowing down, being fully authentic, being yourself? It's hard in this world. We have a world that's full of hiding behind screens, social media. So what I want to share with you now is, how do you create that connection from a realness? Sit down and figure out what is important to me. What are my values? What are my top 3 values? I teach something to my clients that's called the Fabulous 5. They're 5 non-negotiables. And I can go over that too in one of these lives this month during the series. So, what is that? And how do you show up in your dating life? How do you show up in relationship? What do you do when he does something that you don't like, or you feel like he's doing something that is hurting you or maybe dishonest, right? We have gut feelings for a reason. Our guts actually have feelings. And, the thing that I want to tell you when it comes to this is getting grounded in that. Going out and meeting somebody with the intention of making a connection. And as you're getting to know them, be authentic with who you are. How do you do that when you're dating and you're scared? I get it. It can be scary to get yourself out there. It can be scary to meet someone for the first time. Or you might actually enjoy it and you have a lot of fun and first dates go really well, typically. And, if you lose the expectation and have fun, right, in the process, and be authentic. If he says, what are you looking for? Be real. I'm dating for a reason. I'm dating for a purpose. I would love to meet the right person and not be swiping right or left anymore. Or, I do, seek the things that are important. And when women get afraid to say that because they're afraid they're going to scare him off, they're afraid they're going to think that it's with him, far be it for him and his ego to really think that. You just met the guy. And you might have met him from an online site, or maybe you met through friends, or you met out and about. However you met, it doesn't really matter. But the thing is being true to you and saying, oh, look, yeah, this is what I'm looking for, with the right person, of course, right? And then as we're continuing on getting to know someone, this is where the fantasies can come in. This is where we can start to future trip into, oh my gosh, this could be great. We could, he's doing this and that, and we could travel together, raise a family together, whatever you guys are into, and have this land or whatever. It could be anything that we start to future trip on. But stay grounded in the present moment and stay connected with you, instead of building upon something that we have a connection to that's a fantasy. Something that I used to do, I used to say that I wore man repellent. No kidding, you guys. I would go out on these dates. I would look super cute. I wear perfume, all that kind of stuff. So what would happen is literally I'd go out with a guy and I'd be like, yeah, this guy is awesome. He seems to have everything I'm looking for. And I would be literally thinking about walking down the aisle, our 2.5 kids and dog or whatever. And what was funny about that is he might go on 2 or 3 dates with me, maybe one, and literally the guys would run for the hills, and I would think, what was wrong with me? I was cute, I was nice, I was this and that. Had nothing to do with that. What it had to do with is the fact that I wasn't present. I was developing a fantasy in my brain, and I was not really truly being authentic. So as you're dating or in the dating process, and it's so natural for us women to think about the possibilities, men think about it too. They're just a little bit different. They might think, wow, can I really show up for her the way that I feel like she deserves? Can I really be the kind of man that she can depend upon and rely upon? Can I, can I provide her with a true commitment? And men take that seriously. So you guys, when it comes to, be authentic. Yes, get dressed up. Feel good about you when you're getting out there and you're meeting someone new. Do that for certain. However, be authentic. And then if something happens along the lines, he cancels a date, or, he cancels a couple dates in a row, I want to encourage you not to create a story around that, but to get really curious about what's happening. And men actually need examples. This is super important, you guys, because you could say, well, I really need, if you cancel, I totally get it. And things pop up, right? We all have things that pop up. And as women, we want to be as dependable and reliable, especially because of the fact that maybe relationship is super important to us. However, things pop up for us too. However, it's not about you if he does cancel. It could be any myriad of things going on. But going back to the fact that maybe you want him to communicate with you or give you a heads up several hours before or something, and you want to have a conversation with him like, hey, I'm so happy everything's okay. And, for me, how I felt when this happened was that you didn't really care, or that a bigger, better deal came along. And regardless of what that is, that's vulnerability, you guys. That's getting really intimate, or the story that I'm creating. And whether that's true or false, it is what it is. Or cite an example of something that transpired. So when this happened, I felt X. And what would make me feel safe, comfortable, happy in the future, because men really do want to make you happy, is to actually share, by doing this, it would provide me, by giving me a heads up earlier, or by, sharing what's really going on with you, it will provide me with insight and, safety about continuing to move forward, because I start to get cautious and pull back when these things happen naturally, because it's a protection mechanism, you guys. And I want to, if you have a friend, a woman that needs to hear this, please share this post. My goal is to support as many women as possible for creating the kind of partnership that really resonates deeply within you. And part of that, you guys, is showing all parts of you, because we can't fully have an authentic, true, connected relationship if we're hiding things, if we're hiding truly who we are and our skeletons in the closet. It doesn't mean that you need to open up the closet and let everything out, let all your dirty laundry out, because I guarantee he has it too. But if you are vulnerable and if you share, gosh, I get nervous with intimacy. I'm scared to get blowjobs, whatever. I freeze up when, oh, you're welcome. And I freeze up when I hear, when it gets real. I freeze up when somebody does something to me or says something to me that I might perceive as critical, right? So whatever it is, pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to your way of being in dating and relationships. So I hope this helps you. And you guys, please feel free to post questions, comments. Know that maybe you're scared to post that. However, I'm going to answer everything myself. I'm going through all the lives. I'm answering all your questions. And it's going to help me to provide you with more helpful information to create the kind of connection that resides deeply in your heart. And you can feel that intimate connection that we all desire. We all want to be seen. And there can be a lot of fear around slowing down and creating true intimacy. So I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Happy Tuesday. And I will see you tomorrow, same time, same bat channel. pray to God that I don't have technical issues on my computer and that I get to stream on both Insta and Facebook. So lots of love. Mwah. Hope this helps.